So unfortunately, before we jump into this, my webcam decided to die about 3 times over the last week in the mad dash to get content out ready over the Christmas period. Sadly, I wasn't able to recover it from this and tomorrow's video, so apologies in advance, but hopefully you enjoy nonetheless. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 10 of our F222 Teo Porcher career mode. Yes, this weekend we're back at the Hungaroring. Feels like a very long time since I've last driven around the Hungarian GP circuit, but of course if you missed out the action from La Castellet last weekend, probably I'd say the best race weekend of the season so far. Of course, I'll avoid spoilers for just a moment, but that is your warning before we get into this today. Of course, a massive thank you as well to all of you for the insane and continuous support over the course of 2022, and as well I just want to wish you all a happy holidays. You know, I know I'm recording this video a little bit early, but it's going to be going out over the weekend. We're here today. Obviously, we've got the video as well going out live tomorrow, so, you know, if you're busy with your family, your friends, I'm sure they won't mind if you take 20 minutes away to watch the Teo Porcher career mode. But yeah, as we head in towards the Hungarian GP, 2 points separate myself and Felipe Drugovich. We've only got 5 race weekends left of the year, 10 races to go, and it is still anyone's guess as to who will be crowned world champion here. Jack Doohan sat in P3. They're a little way ahead now of Jem Bollock-Bassi with Gian Daruvula in the top 5, but we've got to try and get our one-shot qualifying sorted this weekend. We've only had 1 pole position this year. Can we try to make it 2? Well, here we are then, back at the Hungaroring. Of course, we're ready for round 10 of this season. And I always kind of forget, you know, nowadays, the Hungaroring is actually one of the oldest tracks on the F1 calendar. You know, when you exclude sort of the iconic 4, if you will, of Monza, Spa, Silverstone and Monaco, yeah, the Hungaroring, I'm pretty certain, is either the 5th or the 6th oldest circuit now on the F1 calendar, which is kind of mad when you think about it, because I don't really sort of see it as an old school circuit in many ways. But, you know, we've spent many a year racing around this track, so hopefully that's going to come in handy today. Let's see if we can try and put this thing on pole position. Obviously very high wing, so I'm expecting the AI to gain a bit through Sector 1, but hopefully we can claw it back around the rest of the lap. Final corner up towards the line. It's going to be so close to myself and Drugovich. No! Drugovich doubles his gap at the top of the table. There must have been hundreds in it between us, but the Brazilian once more will pit me.
The grid is all set for the race tomorrow, but before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top 3, which are
Drugovich, Porcher, Jack Doohan.
With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, look at that for a close qualifying session. Then Felipe Drugovich on the pole ahead of myself by just 900ths of a second there. But look! Fred Vesti 3/10 away, 14th. That's all that's good enough for. There's a little bit of a field spread towards the back, but both MP Motorsport cars separated by just 5.5 tenths. That's the entire grid covered. I really do wish that real Formula 2, I mean, real Formula 2 is pretty close, but this is on a whole nother level. Let's get into it though. Sprint race today, of course, from Budapest. Hopefully we can try and stay ahead of Drugovich early on and claw back and try, I think for the first time since Bahrain, to take the championship lead.
We're just 18 kilometers from the city of Budapest here in Hungary, where today's Formula 2 race is about to start. Hold on to your hats, this should be something special. The Hungaroring is located 12 miles northeast of the capital, Budapest. It's 2.7 miles long, featuring 14 corners, and it's got a reputation for making overtaking difficult. Nevertheless, there's a history of some truly exceptional races here. Let's hope our Formula 2 drivers can serve up some more of that today. Joining me for all today's excitement, a man who is no stranger to this challenging circuit, Davide Valsecchi. Davide, Hungaroring can be a tricky beast to master. What insight can you give us about today's race?
Ciao Alex, as you say, the circuit can be challenging. There's a lot of slow corner which can make overtaking very frustrating. This will be a good test of this young driver's patience. Waiting for the perfect moment to make an attack will be the key to moving up through the field today.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Right, well, here we are then on the grid at the Hungaroring, round 10, race 19 of this F2 season. It's kind of mad when I think that there's 28 races this season. We are really smashing through, and we haven't got many more rounds to go, like I said, of the campaign. This is all going to be wrapped up by the end of January. Some of you have asked whether we're going to do a second season. Honestly, I haven't quite decided just yet. We'll wait and see as to how the rest of this campaign goes. But of course, yes, starting alongside Felipe Drugovich. Of course, remember that it's top 10 reverse, but only the top 8 score points. So if we wanted to claim the championship lead, if Drugovich didn't score, we need to finish 6th. Luckily, we don't have to do all the theatrics of donuts and things like that in the Formula 2 cars. They're a bit more easy to launch than the F1 cars here on F1 22, but we do need to try and get a bit of heat into the rears as we head at the final corner. That will hopefully do us a bit of a favour as we get ready to line up on the grid. Purple score on the lineup. That's exactly what we want to see as we just wait for those final few cars, of course, at the rear of the field. It is Felipe Drugovich's teammate, not Cordial. I've suddenly... Clement Novelak, I'm still, for whatever reason, I'm still bluffing on names sometimes this year. 5 red lights though here at the Hungaroring, and it is lights out. And look at that for a launch! Immediately they're straight past Jack Doohan as we head down towards turn 1. And oh, look at the Drugovich as well, though. It's done even better as we head in towards the first corner. We're going to try and hook it up round the outside. Try to avoid Liam Lawson just at the last minute there. And we're now side by side with Callum Williams as we head out of the first turn. But one of my best starts I'll probably ever get on F1 22 there is inside of the Trident. No, he's going to absolutely mug me off there down the hill. We're going to have to squeeze out Drugovich off the corner, and that's going to allow Doohan an open door back up the inside there as turn 3 just about flat out on the harder tyres and the heavy fuel there. And look at Callum Williams. He's absolutely going for it early on in this race there. Just get a bit boxed in behind him as Liam Lawson able to defend the position this time around. But Cordial and Caldwell just a little way further up the road there. I think it's Marcus Armstrong that leads the way on this open lap. Oh, I just panicked there. Was no idea where Williams was going to go in towards the chicane. But we have gained 1 spot then off the start. Looks like Drugovich is under increasing pressure from Dennis Hauger a little bit further back as well. So that's really going to do me a favour early on in this race. But I've got no idea how difficult it's going to be to try and overtake cars, of course, once the DRS has been enabled. The Hungaroring often described as Monaco without the barriers. But it does also mean, yeah, that he's going to be quite a long race as well ahead of us. 14 laps around what is really, actually, yeah, quite a slow speed circuit. Quite a long lap time, actually, in these F2 cars. So we're just going to have to get our head down and really focus as Callum Williams there still just in front of me. And yeah, it is Armstrong then that leads the way at the end of lap 1. I think he's got Sato just behind him. And then I want to say Richard Verschaw in P3. Whoa, final corner. I don't know what it is every time in this car. I seem to get a bit of a wobble on there. It just feels like you get on the throttle and it's fine, and then suddenly at the last moment, I don't think there's a bump, whoa, or anything like that. I'm so sorry, Callum Williams, but actually we've just hooked up an absolutely fantastic move there on the Australian. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Yeah, clearly that's where we're going to have to try and make overtakes today. Then if I can do them accidentally, surely we can do them on purpose later on in the afternoon. But yeah, like I said, I don't know whether there's just a bump on that final corner. I don't think there is. It's just the way the turbos spool up in these F2 cars. It's just so different to the F1 cars and F1 22. It's all just running over the white line through turn 4, but we scrubbed off speed and certainly didn't gain anything from it. Next up, though, it's another Australian in Liam Lawson. Nope, he's the Kiwi, of course. Well, Liam Lawson there really struggling to get the power down at a turn 3. We're going to have a look to the outside of the Kiwi. Are we going to be able to try and get the switch back off the corner again to the outside as we head in towards turn 5 there? Surely we're not going to be able to find much grip out here, and no, we absolutely won't, as Callum Williams thinks about sticking the nose back at the inside there. I'll be honest, I didn't really sort of see much of Williams in real life, F222, but in the game he's very feisty. All I really know about him was that he didn't race in Abu Dhabi. But apart from that, yeah, my Callum Williams knowledge, I apologise, is pretty vague. This time round, we might be able to get a run on Lawson back down towards turn 1. You know what, our top end speed isn't as bad as I thought it would be. To the inside of Liam Lawson, we proved last weekend just how good we are at overtaking in Le Castellet, and we will move up another place here in Hungary, Budapest. Now, if the race were to finish like this, Drogovic and I would head into the feature race tomorrow, tied in the lead for the championship. Oh, there we go. New fast lap of the day. Helped, of course, by the DRS on Lawson down in towards turn 1, and obviously the slipstream as well that we got with that. But like I said, we would leave here tied, or we'd head into the race tomorrow tied in the championship. Tying's not good enough. I want to try and get more places here. Solly Caldwell clearly starting to struggle a bit. Doesn't quite have the pace to match the front runners. Does, however, occasionally watch my TikToks. Fun story for you there. Yeah, he commented on one a couple of weeks ago, which I thought was quite funny. And I met him at the F1 arcade launch party, so practically best mates, if you ask me. Also, another fun story from you from the F1 arcade party was I shook Jay Andaruvala's hand and congratulated him on going to Mahindra for 2023 Formula E, but could I remember the name of the team he was going to? No. So I kind of just said, shook his hand and went, congratulations on Formula E next year, which is probably he felt was kind of a bit of a roast when, you know, most of the drivers in F2 want to make it to F1. JM, I don't think you'll watch these, but I do apologise, mate.
Okay.
Well, we are now finally all over the back of Amaury Cordeal. They're practically pushing him through the final couple of turns. Had quite fun with story time so far in this video, but have got to start trying to make overtakes again as we head out of the final corner, trying to take a bit of a wider line in, but short shifting up way too early that time round. These F2 cars do not have anywhere near the torque of the Formula 1 cars, as of course Ollie Caldwell with no DRS is helping out Cordeal, but not helping it out enough, as that was a very aggressive move in towards turn 1, but did make it, I don't think aggressive is the wrong word, I feel like robust probably best describes it, as Cordeal thinks about having a look again at the inside and kind of panics and bails. Next up, Ollie Caldwell then, no DRS for him, so it might be easier pickings, but then a bit of a gap up to Richard Verschoor. That one is going to be a bit more difficult to close up, I feel, in the late stages here. Well, perhaps Ollie Caldwell a bit spurred on from the battle we had at Silverstone a couple of weeks ago, where he threw away that final points-paying position literally out of the final corner at Silverstone. For some reason he broke, rather than just running me out wide. So he has actually picked up the tempo a little bit over these last couple of laps. You can see Cordeal is barely hanging inside the DRS there, but running a nice tidy line on the exit of the final corner to give ourselves a slingshot back in towards turn 1. 5 laps to go of this sprint race, and I think that was a bit of a lock up there from Caldwell, so jumping out the way down at turn 1. We'll just do a little bit of a burnout there. Jenson Button 2009 Brazil style on the exit. Make it clear the position is ours. We've got 5 laps, like I said, 2 seconds up to Sato and Verschoor. Yeah, looks like Armstrong has just pulled away at the front of this field. Okay, was not expecting that quite late on in the day, but clearly, yeah, the clear air helping us just inch further away on that fastest lap bonus point. Well, 3 laps to go. This could actually get quite close between myself, Verschoor and Sato, as there we go, dipping into the 128s. I've still got a lot of pace on these medium tyres when I get the laps hooked up, but just trying to sort of unleash the pace that I can, and of course try and actually get within the DRS at the detection points, because at the moment I think we were about 300ths out of the final turn. And that is pretty much going to pay to any hope I had then. Just went over the curbing too much, back end tried to come round on me, and I think, yeah, now we are probably confined to P4. Heading around the final few corners then of the Hungarian Grand Prix. This lap we have, again, just starting to take a bit of time out of Vasseur and Sato, but I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen through these final few corners. I didn't want to jinx it earlier on as well, but no one so far in this race has been mecha-chromed, which is quite nice because it is a very, very frustrating thing. Of course, in real life F2 as well, during the season, of course, you know, fairly critical about how all these young drivers can be so defined by something completely out of their control in the lower categories of motorsport. But rounding the final few corners though, Marcus Armstrong, he got reverse grid pole today and has absolutely stormed away with it, led from start to flag there at the final corner. 10 points for him. Sato's going to come through for P2, Vasseur on the podium, and we're going to come through for a pretty well-earned P4.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So another fantastic victory for Hi-Tech GP today. So, Davide, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what is so cool on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
And as they make their way down to the podium, there's no denying the strength of the Hi-Tech GP team. It was an incredible performance today, and they fully deserve to stand on the top step. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Teo Porcher is now the Drivers' Championship leader. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Teo Porcher. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of the tires, and he showed that today.
And now a look at the team standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, Hi-Tech GP's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Well, there we are then, the end of the sprint here from Budapest, and Marcus Armstrong there, a 3-second lead at the checkered flag ahead of Marino Sato there. Vasseur rounds out the podium ahead of ourselves and Ollie Caldwell there. Cordeal, Lawson and Williams will round out our points finishers there. Drogovic couldn't make any progress from 10th place there, stuck behind Jack Doohan pretty much all afternoon long. But looks like, where did Dennis Hauger disappear to? Right, oh, he did. As soon as I said no one got mecha-chromed, Hauger must have done after we crossed the line there, so a heartbreak for the Prema driver, but of course won't affect his grid position ready for tomorrow. The gap at the top though, we are now finally championship leader. Like I said, I'm pretty certain that's the first time since Bahrain we have led the championship. They're 2 points ahead of Drogovic, but again, he will be starting ahead of us tomorrow there. Jack Doohan still P3 ahead of Bolek Bassi, Sato and Armstrong, Dunk Ruvela, and Dennis Hauger there as Vasseur back past Yuri Vips and Callum Williams as well, and even Ollie Caldwell as well gets more points there to be ahead of Enzo Fittipaldi. It feels like Fittipaldi's been at the front a lot this year. I'm amazed he's only got 29 points. Teams-wise though, tied between ourselves and MP Motorsport as we head into the feature race tomorrow. UNI Virtuosi still looking comfortable in P3 there ahead of Prema. Hi-Tech and Charu still very, very close behind them, with Trident still waiting in the wings as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Like I said in the intro, I just want to wish everyone, you know, a happy holidays no matter whatever you are celebrating as well. And yeah, we will be back with the feature race tomorrow, so yeah, you know, maybe just watch it if you got the time. But yeah, we'll be back very, very soon with more F122 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.